African humanist. Ah, here she is. She's back. Hello.
Hello.
You're Esther.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. It's very nice to meet you.
Oh, hello.
You call yourself the African humanist, and you're in London.
No, I'm in the West Midlands.
Oh, the West Midlands. Yes, I'm sorry. There's so many comments. I get mixed up.
It's okay.
Yes. So, how did you become a humanist? I'm assuming that because it's common in people of your ethnicity, because I married one, that you were raised in a religion. Is that right?
Yes, I was.
Let me guess. Is it Christianity?
You're right. Yes.
How did you escape?
Oh well, it wasn't a one day thing. It happened over 2 years.
Yes, it's a journey, isn't it?
It is. I'm a fairly new atheist, I would say.
Yes. Welcome.
And, thank you. I had done 2 years of a training, and I was just about to start the process of theology school at the Birmingham Theology School. So I'd gone through all the stages and was at the stage where I was going to start training to be a priest.
Wow. Do you know, it's uncanny how many people become atheists during their training to become a priest or a pastor. You probably saw an interview I did with Chris Attlee earlier on, where a little clip that was in a montage where he revealed that he went to school to train to be a pastor, in his case, and he did 2 degrees, missionary and theology. No, ministry and theology. And just before his finals, he started to read the Bible. First time he really read it for himself, having, been spoon-fed by his teachers before and his own pastor. And he, in his words, he said, a funny thing happened. You'll never guess. And of course, I did guess. He lost his faith because, of course, the Bible it's not a very good recruiting officer for Christianity if you actually read it.
Yeah. I think the trouble is it's not the reading of it. It's the just looking at the context.
Yes.
Because you could read it and just not see things. I mean, I'll give you a very typical example.
Please do.
The story of the Ark.
Mm.
I started to look at it on, with a different perspective.
Yes.
My issue wasn't the Ark. My issue wasn't with Noah, his kids, and the animals. Did it happen? Did it not happen? My issue was the people who didn't make it.
Yes.
I mean, in that crowd, let's assume it happened. In that crowd of people, there would have been children.
Yes.
There would have been pregnant women.
Yes.
Old people, the elderly people who couldn't help themselves.
Yes.
And just because God regretted making humans, he just decided to wipe them all out. And I'm thinking, how is that justifiable?
Yes. How does that fit with the Christian message of love and
loving God
and being fair? Because Christianity is a bit like socialism, isn't it? It's supposed to be all things to all men. But you're right. If that happened today, if there was some amazingly powerful agent who could just select his own family on one boat with a few pets, but then exterminated the rest of humanity, we would call that genocide.
Absolutely.
Yes. It's certainly not.
Absolutely.
We certainly wouldn't worship the person who did that.
And I think for me, what was the main thing, what did it for me was, well, that's how I started to ask questions.
Yes.
So I'm originally African. I came to the UK, and I've always ever gone to an African church, and
Yes.
the African way of worship, it's
Yes.
completely different.
Yes. Yes. I've
And
been in.
I I stepped foot into a Church of England. I absolutely loved it, and my husband at the time, he couldn't do it. He just couldn't. There
Yes.
was just something, about the way they worshipped. My husband at the time, because I'm divorced now, he felt it was boring. He couldn't do it.
Yes.
He liked the vibrant worship where you dance and
Yes. Exactly.
all of that. And in the Church of England, it was all just quiet, and you
Sitting and
know
kneeling and standing. That's it.
yes. And then little things like money, that there wasn't, where I was coming from, you had to pay 1/10, and
Yes, that's
then
right.
in the first month
Five.
of the year you had to
Yes.
pay the first fruits, and there's just so
Yes.
much demands. But then when
Yes.
I came to the Church of England, it was completely different.
Yes.
A lot
Yes.
of things just were very different, and I just wondered, why is this so different?
Yes.
Why? And then I think the moment I started to ask why, the
Yes.
questions never ended. They just kept on coming.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
the issue of hell. I grew up believing in hell, and
Did you? Yes.
afraid that I was going to go to hell.
Yes.
And when I asked the priest in the
Mm.
church, I had a meeting with him. Said, I want to have a conversation with you. I wanted to know what was his opinion on hell. And when he
Yes.
told me he didn't believe there was a hell, I think it felt like,
Yes.
you know
Anglican Anglican clergy are not strong on hell. They're not up there believing it.
no.
No. Esther, it's been wonderful meeting you. I'm going to move on
Thank
to some
you.
other part of the show now, but please keep watching and stay in touch. I've put my
Thank you.
email in the comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Wow, what a lovely lady. Yes, and I've been to African church services, and it's all singing and dancing and quite different, as she says.
Yeah, that
Okay,
was excellent.
so what
All
have you
right,
got?
John. Well, we've got another 15 minutes before the top of the hour.
Yeah.